I'm just kind of ready for the next chapter and a new challenge in my life, but I think the reason I decided to announce it when I did was just to have that closure.
What you just heard was Caitlin Clark talking about a major announcement. And in the last few days, you may have seen viral videos claiming that announcement was part of a secret meeting on July 8th, a bombshell reveal where Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull formed a revolutionary coalition to upend the WNBA. Well, today, we're here to filter out the noise, because that story is not the real story. The narrative analysts who have been following our work know we dig deeper than the headlines. The July 8th meeting was a fabrication, a piece of clickbait built on a foundation of truth. The real story is infinitely more interesting, and it's happening right now, behind closed doors. This isn't about a fake announcement. This is about a very real friendship, the one fans called Tres Leches, being used as the perfect cover for a strategic power play. This is about a veteran strategist, Sophie Cunningham, quietly organizing an alliance to exploit the WNBA's biggest secret weakness right before the most important negotiation in the league's history, the 2026 collective bargaining agreement war. We're here to connect the dots that others are missing. If you appreciate that kind of deep dive analysis, do us a favor and hit the like button right now. It lets us know we're on the right track. Now let's break down how this wholesome friendship became the WNBA's most dangerous political weapon. So how does a friendship become a political weapon? It starts with building the perfect cover story, one that everyone loves and no one questions. Okay, many of you watching have been connecting these dots on social media for a while, and you were onto something. The friendship between Caitlin Clark, Sophie Cunningham, and Lexie Hull isn't just a locker room bond. It has a name, a brand, and a massive following. Fans have nicknamed them Tres Leches. It's a reference to their close bond, and it's become so popular that merchandise celebrating the trio is even being sold by major outlets like Barstool Sports. On social media, the sentiment is overwhelmingly positive. Fans and media alike celebrate their chemistry on and off the court. It's the perfect, wholesome storyline for a league experiencing explosive growth. You have the superstar, the veteran, and the rising talent all on the same team, all best friends. It's a marketing dream. But for the narrative analysts, the question is always, what's the story behind the story? What if this universally loved friendship, this perfect PR narrative, is also the single greatest asset for a covert political operation? Think about it. Any meeting they have, any strategy session, any coordinated move can be publicly dismissed as just friends supporting friends. It provides the perfect cover, a shield of positive sentiment that deflects suspicion. While the world is focused on the Tres Leches t-shirts and the feel-good posts, they are free to plan their next move in the one place no one is looking, right out in the open. But for this alliance to be more than just popular, for it to have teeth, it needs a leader. It needs an enforcer with a deep understanding of the league's pressure points. Enter the veteran strategist, Sophie Cunningham. To understand Sophie Cunningham's role in this, you have to understand her journey. She isn't a rookie. She's a seasoned veteran guard who was specifically traded to the Indiana Fever from the Phoenix Mercury during the 2025 offseason. She has seen how this league operates from the inside for years. She knows the politics, the pressure points, and the long-standing frustrations that players discuss behind closed doors. And since arriving in Indiana, she has been very public about her primary mission. After multiple instances of hard fouls against Clark, Cunningham has made her stance crystal clear in press conferences. She has openly criticized the officiating and made a direct public vow that she will protect her teammates, especially Caitlin Clark. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a great teammate stepping up, but for the narrative analyst, that word protect carries a much deeper meaning. This isn't just about preventing a cheap shot on the court. It's about protecting the alliance's most valuable asset. It's about insulating the single greatest source of leverage the players have ever had from the extracurricular activities, as Cunningham herself put it. In her own words, quote, "I'm not focused on the extracurricular activities. I'm going to protect my teammates. That's what I do." When you filter out the noise, that statement sounds less like an on-court promise and more like a political strategy. She is the designated protector, the enforcer, ensuring their billion-dollar weapon is shielded from the physical and mental toll of the media circus, keeping her primed for the real battle ahead. A veteran strategist like Cunningham knows you don't go into a war without identifying the enemy's biggest vulnerability. So what is the WNBA's secret weakness? The one this alliance is preparing to exploit. It all comes down to a single, shocking number. That number is $78,666. That is Caitlin Clark's official WNBA salary for the 2025 season. Now, let that sink in for a moment. Now, compare it to this statement from an industry source backed by economics professors. Caitlin Clark is worth close to $1 billion to the league. She is, as one expert put it, massively underpaid because of what she's doing for her team and what she's doing for the other teams. This isn't speculation. This isn't an opinion. This is the WNBA's great quantifiable weakness, and we have the data to prove it. This is the leverage that changes everything. During Caitlin Clark's recent injury absence, national TV viewership for WNBA games plummeted by 55%. The Indiana Fever's own viewership cratered by 53%. The message is clear. When she doesn't play, the audience leaves. Her rookie season triggered record-breaking attendance across the league, and merchandise sales jumped an astonishing 601% from the previous year. The league's historic growth, its soaring franchise valuations, its entire economic boom, it is all tied directly to her. This is the secret weakness that a strategist like Cunningham sees. The league's entire financial model is now visibly dependent on one player who is earning less than 1/100th of 1% of her estimated value. This isn't just an interesting fact. It's the central piece of evidence in a case that's already being built behind closed doors, and the trial is set to begin far sooner than most people think. Let's connect the dots on the timeline of this secret war. This battle isn't theoretical, and it isn't happening in the distant future. The first shots have already been fired. For those who don't follow the business side of the league, here's the key piece of information you need to know. In October 2024, the WNBA Players Association officially opted out of the current collective bargaining agreement, or CBA. That action set the clock ticking. The current deal expires after this 2025 season, and negotiations for a brand new, high-stakes agreement that will take effect in 2026 are happening right now, in secret. This is the war. And with Sophie Cunningham's trade to Indiana, the Leches alliance has established the perfect war room. Think about the strategic advantage. The veteran leader, the league's biggest asset, and the voice of the next generation are all under one roof. At the Indiana Fever training facility, they can coordinate daily, build chemistry, and align their strategy away from the prying eyes of the media, the league office, and other team owners. While the world is focused on the team practicing, the narrative analyst sees a political faction consolidating its power before the most crucial negotiation in the history of women's professional basketball. But a war isn't won by a timeline and a secure location alone. It's won with powerful assets. And in this fight, the Leches alliance holds the two most important cards at the entire league. An alliance is only as strong as its assets. And in this negotiation, the Leches alliance hold the two most powerful cards at the table. First, you have the billion-dollar weapon, Caitlin Clark. She is the leverage. We've already discussed her record-breaking impact on attendance, merchandise sales, and ratings, but her role is more than just numbers. She was the 2024 Rookie of the Year and became a 2025 All-Star captain with a record-shattering 1,293,526 fan votes. Her popularity gives the Players Association a negotiating weapon they have never had before. The implied threat, whether spoken or not, is that an unhappy Caitlin Clark, one who feels the league isn't respecting her value, could seriously jeopardize the WNBA's newfound prosperity. Then you have the future of the game. Lexie Hull. Drafted 6th overall in 2022 from Stanford University, Hull represents something just as important. She is the face of the next generation of WNBA talent. Her presence in this alliance sends a powerful message. This isn't just about getting top superstars a bigger paycheck. It's about building a league where a long, stable, and financially secure career is possible for every player, from draft day to retirement. She represents the dozens of athletes wrestling with the decision to play overseas for better pay or stay home to build the WNBA. She is the moral imperative of this fight. You have the veteran strategist in Cunningham, the unprecedented leverage in Clark, and the moral purpose in Hull. This combination of leadership, power, and principle is incredibly rare. But to understand just how potent this moment truly is, we need to place it in historical context and compare it to the fights that came before. Player activism in the WNBA is nothing new. For years, veterans have fought tirelessly for incremental changes. We've seen organized pushes to address grueling travel conditions, debates over restrictive salary caps, and struggles with the overseas play prioritization rules that forced players to choose between league loyalty and financial stability. These were hard, necessary fights that laid the groundwork for today. But this time is different. The single biggest change is that the old arguments against paying players more are evaporating in real time. In 2024, the WNBA announced a staggering 11-year media rights deal worth approximately $2.2 billion. That's a monumental leap from the previous deal of just $60 million a year. The money is no longer a hypothetical. It is pouring into the system. This financial boom is supercharged by the Clark effect. League-wide, franchise valuations have shot up 180% on average, with the Indiana Fever's own valuation exploding by 273% in just 1 year, from 2024 to 2025. The players can now point to tangible, massive revenue streams that simply did not exist on this scale before. The public can see the sold-out arenas and record ratings with their own eyes. The excuse that the league simply can't afford it no longer holds weight. With billions of dollars now on the table, has the league finally run out of excuses? Let me know your theory in the comments below. So with the money confirmed and the leverage secured, what is the ultimate goal? What does the Trace-Leches alliance truly want out of the 2026 CBA? It's more than just a bigger paycheck. It's about fundamentally redefining the idea of value in the WNBA. So what does redefining value actually look like in a new CBA? We're not just talking about bumping up the Supermax contract from its current cap of $249,244 a year. The goal here is far more radical and systemic. We can find clues in the public statements from those closest to the situation. Caitlin Clark's own agent, Aaron Kane, said, "The key focus has always been ensuring that WNBA players are adequately compensated for their efforts." The key word is adequate. When your client is generating $1 billion for the league, the definition of adequate changes dramatically. Clark herself has publicly expressed her frustration with the league's illogical pay structures. Speaking about the Commissioner's Cup prize money, she said, "You get more for this than you do if you're the champion. It makes no sense. Someone tell Cathy to help us out. That is not just a player complaining. That is the league's biggest star openly calling out the flawed system and demanding a change. Connecting these dots, the end game becomes clear. The Alliance isn't just asking for a raise. They're pushing for a revolutionary new system, a system where player compensation is directly tied to the revenue they generate. This could mean a percentage of media rights deals, a share in merchandise sales, or, as one report on the new CBA negotiations suggests, new business models that reflect true value, including increased salaries. This is their end game, not just to get paid, but to get paid what they are worth in a system that recognizes their true value. It's a quiet coup, orchestrated by a veteran strategist and powered by a once-in-a-generation star power, designed to take control of their own financial destiny. So when you connect all the dots, the picture becomes clear. The celebrated Trace Leches friendship is far more than a wholesome story for social media. It's the perfect public cover for a sophisticated and calculated political operation. An operation masterminded by veteran strategist Sophie Cunningham, designed to leverage Caitlin Clark's once-in-a-generation star power to exploit the league's financial vulnerabilities. Their target is the secret 2026 CBA war, and their goal is not just a raise, it's a revolution in how player value is defined, fought for, and won. So, what's your take on all this? Let us know in the comments, do you believe the Trace Leches friendship is a strategic alliance, and what is the single biggest change they need to secure in the new CBA? We are going to be tracking every move in this CBA battle as it unfolds, filtering out the noise to bring you the real story. To make sure you don't miss our next deep dive, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Finally, if you believe other WNBA fans need to know the real story behind the headlines, share this video with them. You help our community of narrative analysts grow every time you do.